The X-Babies are a group of Mojo-manufactured child clones of the X-Men. They first appeared in Uncanny X-Men Annual No. 12 and were created by Chris Claremont and Art Adams. Appearances: in Uncanny X-Men Annual No. 10, Mojo had de-aged the X-Men into children. This is what most likely inspired the creation of the X-Babies. In Uncanny X-Men Annual No. 12, the X-Men are assumed to be dead. Mojo, missing his greatest rating generators, had his people try to recreate his own version of the X-Men. After many unsuccessful attempts, the X-Babies were created. They soon rebel against Mojo. Mojo was about to kill them when he was told that their instant ratings were the highest ever recorded. There have been several incarnations of the X-Babies over the years, usually resembling whatever the current team of X-Men is. There has also been a similar team instead based on the Avengers, called the Mighty-Vengers, who appeared in the X-Babies Reborn one-shot. There have also been several X-Babies villain teams including the Brotherhood of Bullies based on the Brotherhood of Mutants. In Excalibur, Mojo Mayhem, Kitty Pryde, interrupted on a train trip, helps a team of X-Babies flee from a Mojo enforcer who is intent on getting them back by tricking them into signing contracts. In this incarnation, the children's childlike faults and crashes on each other are cruelly exploited by their adversary. Kitty, with backup, ends up saving the day. Several incarnations of the X-Babies are friendly with Ricochet Rita, the good past self of the villain Spiral. Due to Spiral's time travel abilities, Rita, the babies and Spiral can all exist at the same period simultaneously. In X-Men No. 46-47, an X-Babies team is on the run from Mojo's hunters. Gambit and Bishop try to keep them alive. In Exiles No. 8, it is shown that the reality-hopping Exiles encountered a version of the X-Babies. It is not stated whether these X-Babies are the creation of Mojo or the X-Men are the reality in question. In fact, no further details are given except for the narrative commentary. The less said about this, the better. Dazzler would encounter juvenile versions of the four main villains from the Age of Apocalypse timelines. These entities would cause major death and destruction throughout Mojo World. The X-Men were once again reduced to infancy by Mojo during Uncanny X-Men No. 461. As kids, they were able to defeat the villains, parody lawyer versions of the Exiles and restore their rightful ages. Juggernaut had second thoughts about returning to adulthood but was convinced to go through with it. In the X-Babies 4-issue limited series, the X-Babies discover their position as Mojo's No. 1 rating grabber had been usurped by the newer, cuter, but more shallow in personality adorable X-Babies. As a tie-in to the Avengers vs. X-Men event, a spoof comic called A-Babies vs. X-Babies No. 1 has been released. Influences: in line with Mojo being a parody of network executives, the X-Babies parody the modern trend of creating younger and junior versions of cartoon characters which began in the 1980s with Jim Henson's Muppet Babies. In comics, Superboy and Wonder Tot had appeared in Superboy and Wonder Woman comics from the 1950s and 1960s respectively. Members: those without nicknames sometimes were referred to with Lil in front of their names. Bibliography: Uncanny X-Men Annual No. 10, Note: this is the X-Men team reduced to children. Uncanny X-Men Annual No. 12, Excalibur, Mojo Mayhem. Uncanny X-Men Annual No. 17, X-Men No. 46-47, Wolverine Special Volume 1 102.5, X-Babies, Murderama, X-Babies, Reborn, Uncanny X-Men No. 393, X-Men Unlimited No. 32, X-Men Unlimited No. 37, Exiles No. 8, X-Men Unlimited No. 50, Uncanny X-Men No. 461, Note: this is the X-Men team reduced to children. X-Babies No. 1 No. 4, A-Babies vs. X-Babies. No. 1, Spider-Man and the X-Men No. 3. See also, Super JRS. Tiny Titans.